Welcome to Deep Soul Divers Astrology. I'm your host, Carmen Turner Schott, and I'm here with Merlin. He is amazing astrologer from the UK, and Caroline Lynch. She may be joining us here in a little bit as well. But we're going to give you the March 2025 astrological update from our perspective and just kind of talk through what's been going on in the world and the news and the different energies affecting us this month and give you tips, maybe give you some tips. So Merlin, March 1st, Venus went retrograde, and
Mm.
and I wonder what you think of that. I thought it was a little interesting. I saw in the news that the actor Gene Hackman and his wife were
Yes, it's
found,
incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
they were found dead in their home. It's awful.
Yes. Yeah, no, I was actually looking at his chart earlier just to see
Yeah.
what I could see, if anything, and quite an interesting chart. He was born in 1930, so his year of the horse, January 3rd, no, sorry, 30th. Yeah, just inside metal horse, metal gold people
Yeah.
tend to be very successful people. They tend to do very well. And
Yeah.
he's a birth path number 8 as well, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Just infinity, something intensity, I suppose. He did have quite an intensity on screen, didn't he? And
He
people
did.
that talked about him said he was quite an amazing character and apparently very funny, which is interesting because he's got very strong Aquarius aspects.
Yeah.
And comedians, stand-up comedians often have Aquarius aspects, don't they?
Yes.
Clowns. He's got Venus there, Moon there, and Sun. So, and his ascendant, according to the time, was in Aquarius as well. So,
Oh,
very
yeah.
much a person, sort of a global kind of person, and he did have quite a lot of following around the world, and he's very popular here in
Yes.
the UK. So that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
got strong Capricorn aspects as well. So
Oh, yeah.
his need for security, particularly financial security, was relevant to him. It was interesting, and it's
Yeah.
interesting because I heard he retired. Was it 2000? He retired, and it's like he come up to that place in his life. Okay, that's it. Not doing that anymore. So it's like the time clock Capricorn, isn't it? He has
Yeah.
Mars in Capricorn, so
Yeah.
it's and a Mercury too. So he's a person of, I suppose you could say, routines, but
Yeah.
also like a teacher having a timetable. When the bell rings, he goes somewhere else. So I think he's very much that kind of person where at different times in his life he did certain things, and then he thought, oh, I'd do something else, and then I'll do that. He
Sure.
got into acting quite late, didn't he, in his late 30s.
Oh, was
So
he?
yeah,
Interesting.
apparently, yeah, he did. He did all sorts of fascinating jobs. I heard that he used to polish leather furniture,
Oh,
and he sold. He was a salesman for various things, and he did this. He actually did some writing. He tried to be a reporter at some point. So yeah, it's quite fascinating. And then when he retired, he turned to writing books. And I don't know, but I suppose he has written a few books now, which might be interesting. But yeah, he's quite an interesting character, really, multi-talented person, I would imagine,
yeah.
and and fascinating. Probably quite interesting or entertaining to be around. Quite
Oh, yeah.
that kind of thing. I would suggest. So yeah, it's quite interesting. He's
Yeah.
got Jupiter in Germany as well. So there's sort of the theatrical side of things, the
Yeah.
person that does things for a laugh, I suppose, but does things for effect, going on stage or creating an image, creating uh, well, like Hollywood, isn't it? Creating a fantasy, I suppose you could say. But yeah, it's quite interesting stuff. And he was in Mel Brooks' film Young Frankenstein,
Oh,
and
yeah.
apparently that all came about by accident. He was talking to Gene Wilder, and they got on quite well apparently.
Yeah.
And Gene said, if I asked Mel, would you like to play the? So he said, yeah, okay, have a go. I've always wanted to play in a comedy film. So he did. And he played the blind hermit in the film Young Frankenstein, which is a hilarious film. So yeah, it's
Interesting.
interesting because Terry Carr's in that as well.
Yeah.
And she recently passed as well, didn't she? So
Yeah. It's interesting, he's according to this, he's a sun and moon in the 12th house.
yeah.
So
Yes,
that's
that's true.
private
Yeah.
that he kind of left the
Oh
you know,
yes.
the
Yeah.
the stress of the public world and withdrew into, you know,
Mm,
his little haven, safe haven out there in New Mexico, apparently.
mm.
and really good energy out there. And him and his wife, lived out there.
Yeah.
Interesting
Yeah.
how he was kind of behind the scenes here for many years.
Yeah. Because he gave it all up in the early 2000s, didn't he? Interesting
Well,
stuff. But yeah.
welcome, Caroline. Welcome.
Hi.
Oh, welcome,
Good to
Caroline.
see you.
We're just talking about uh the actor Gene
Hackman.
and yes, and how
Ah,
Venus retrograde energy, and just kind of hitting off the month and talking about the news. And then we got March 3rd, which is come up here. Mercury enters Aries. Sorry, my dog's going crazy.
Okay.
What do you think about Mercury and Aries, guys?
Yes. People arguing, talking,
yeah.
short tempers, trying to get 10 words in once. So yes, people won't be tongue-tied, will they?
No.
Flying off the handle, putting the foot in the mouth.
Yeah.
We got a lot of that. It's interesting because it's we're recording here at the first of the month, and then
Mm,
so Monday, we're looking at Monday, Mercury enters Aries.
mm,
And maybe, the second, third, actually, Sunday, Monday.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's interesting because, there's been a lot of stuff going on the news, people having arguments like for the first time in history is pretty cool.
Yes. Strange. Yeah.
I saw your prime minister was here meeting with on the news with our,
Yeah. He
yeah,
gave him a nice letter from the king.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I think I'm hoping Mercury and Aries, helps people maybe, solve some problems, maybe, just hash it out, and get some
I think
solution.
it'd be serious talking, won't it? People
Yeah,
talking very seriously and realizing the gravity of situations.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, especially in politics.
absolutely. And,
Mm.
Mercury and Aries, it's going to be in my eighth house.
Oh.
It's going to be pretty. I'm hoping it's I'll probably feel more intense, wherever Mercury's in your birth chart, guys. It can definitely open up, wherever Aries is too. So
Yes.
I think we might feel more impulsive, just to get a
Yes.
little aggravated and be more vocal about it. I
Yeah, there
feel,
could be some road rage around.
yeah, oh yeah. And
Mm.
just being careful when you're driving and stuff, and
Yeah.
paying
And
attention.
also accidents, because
Yeah,
Aries can be accident prone, can't it? When Mercury's then it's going
yeah,
retrograde. So yeah, be careful of being accident prone.
yeah.
Do not stand on a wobbly chair to reach that top shelf.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what we're looking at too.
Yeah.
March 14, actually the week of March 14 is an intense week. We start with the full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo. Uh,
Mm.
and I'm curious what you guys think how that'll play out. Some of the energies people might feel.
Caroline's more into the moon.
Let's have
But
a look. Oh, just you lost me.
Full moon Virgo, full moon
mm.
total lunar eclipse in Virgo. Um,
But
yeah,
yeah, Virgo is tidying things up, making sure everything's in order,
yeah,
putting labels on everything,
yeah.
um, and also finding that missing penny, analyzing things.
Hmm.
So with the moon there, it'd be an emotional experience when
Mm,
if you're married to a Virgo person, you might notice they get the cleaner out or start painting something. I was talking
Yeah.
to a friend today who's decorating their hall, and well, they're a Libra, but that's different. But there's that thing, isn't there? I've heard somebody tell me a few years ago now, was when a Virgo's upset, they start getting the vacuum cleaner out in order to channel their energy.
It is
So,
true. I was reading that last week. 'Cause I'm a Virgo sun.
oh well,
I
yeah,
was just cleaning everything, trying to get things straight, vacuum, and just feel more in
yeah,
control of the chaos, that's going around.
yeah. If it doesn't move, it gets vacuum cleaned or it gets painted.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think also like maybe get us more in touch with our health and our body
Yes.
and our routine and our diet, things like
Mm.
that. Maybe think about, where we're not being healthy. I know that's kind of been on my mind already, trying to,
Yeah. Go
uh,
to the gym.
yeah, yeah. And during a full moon, emotions can be intensified, and so Virgo's a
Mm.
perfectionist, and sometimes critical, so we might feel a little more critical, or notice things and try to correct things. People might
Yeah.
say, but tell me
Yeah.
what to do, and you're like, we're just trying to help, because Virgo likes to give advice because they want to make things better, but sometimes they're kind
Mm.
of annoy people because they think that they're criticizing them. And it's like, no,
Yes.
criticizing. We're just saying, well, hey, this might make it
Yeah.
better,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Because that's something I heard where if they care about you, they'll tell you things like if you've got lettuce in your teeth, or
yeah,
if they think you should wear a different tie or different shoes or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
When they stop doing that, they don't care for you anymore.
yeah, exactly.
It's their way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To
Yeah.
say we've got Saturn will be conjunct the Sun on that eclipse in
Oh,
Pisces,
yes.
I think.
Mm.
Yeah. So that will be
Ooh,
quite a heavy energy in that respect.
yeah,
Sense of needing to get things right because of, I guess, the critical Virgo moon and then Saturn energy. We're often aware of where we're supposed to get things right and tick all the boxes.
yeah,
So there's a sense of responsibility going on around for next month in that respect. And yet in Pisces energy as well, which doesn't like to have the restriction and the,
yeah.
calling up on things.
Yeah, this Pisces energy here at
Yeah.
the end of February, even this first of this month,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
Yeah. And we
everything
noticed
in
pushback,
Pisces.
haven't we, since Pisces has come into play? The
Yeah,
institutions are saying, hang on a minute.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of this energy, and everyone
Yeah.
I'm talking to says how tired they are, like they
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel good,
Yeah.
like they feel strange, they're physically exhausted, or they just don't feel right, and they're
Mm. Mm.
just wanting to withdraw and a little bit emotional, but really tired. That's what people
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Very tired there. And yeah.
like, a heaviness. And the new moon was just in Pisces, and we've got Sun in
Yeah.
Pisces. We got
Mm.
Saturn, Neptune, the node, um, and at
Mm.
least at least we got a little bit of changes there with Mercury, but there's a lot
Mm.
of stuff in Pisces, and it's still kind of affecting.
Yes.
I think right now, the first of the month of March, we're going to be
Mm-hmm.
feeling a lot of that, and I don't know, I've been giving tips to people like just don't beat yourself up, do
Yeah.
self-care, and if you don't feel like doing anything, just rest, just people feel like they need to be doing something, or they're used to a certain kind of feeling or energy level, and their energy level's not normal right now, is how what I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm going through that too. And I'm trying to give myself some grace. Like, okay, it's okay to lay down, take a nap. Like, I've been having a headache every day this week too. That's another thing. I'm
Mm.
having a migraine. And
Mm.
it's just every day I wake up, it's like right there. I take Tylenol,
Mm.
nothing gets rid of it. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You got it too. Yeah, it's going around. And I think it's just this energy maybe of this the Pisces is just so intense right now. I'm kind of ready for us to get into the Aries energy, as we
Yeah.
get into the mid-month. And, the thing that I'm kind of dreading, and maybe this Mercury retrograde. I know we talked about it before, that you guys have, I think I remember you guys have it retrograde in your birth
That's
chart. So,
right. Yeah.
so you don't
We
mind it, but
do.
man, I
Yeah.
mind it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
We're all
guys,
right. We'll be floating around.
Yeah.
I always feel like I just don't have the words, and like I'm more quiet than usual. I'm more antisocial, it feels like during Mercury retrograde. Like I don't want to answer the phone. I don't want to talk. And usually I'm talking all day, right? Hours. And
Mm.
it's like I
Mm.
get more introverted or something, or more, I don't know. It's strange.
Spaced out.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Like my mind is, and then, and I'm
Yeah.
just, remind people, with travel. anything with travel, communication, reassess, reevaluate, redo, things
Yeah.
from the past can come back and we have to kind of,
Trade and merchants.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Which that's kind of a big deal going on right now with with
Mm.
tariffs and all these changes going on in the world with communication. I'm hoping
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
not miscommunication during this retrograde.
Well,
But
yeah, there's
a lot of
bound to be,
people,
isn't there? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes that
Because
happens.
we're actually in the shadow zone now, aren't we? So that
Yeah,
argument yesterday could be part of that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Miscommunication, like you
Yeah.
misinterpret or or
Mm.
you just didn't get your point across. You're like, wow, that did not go well. I've been there
No.
during Mercury retrograde, and then you're like, then later on you can, redo,
Yeah.
reassess,
You
reevaluate.
make up with your friends when it's
Yeah,
over.
make
Yeah.
up. I think so. I'm hoping that happens.
Something I heard yesterday. Apparently, there's a shortage. Can't say the word of medicines, particular medicines like people
Oh,
that need medicines for their pancreas,
oh,
for
wow.
digesting food. Apparently, if you've got pancreas problems,
Oh,
and
wow.
also diabetes, and also sort of chronic kind of problems where they need some kind of supplement in order to regulate their metabolism. And across the world, there's this shortage apparently. So there's,
Wow.
the medical practitioners have to ration prescriptions to people who really need it.
Oh,
And it's quite interesting. Really. Well, it's worrying actually.
Yeah.
But
what's causing
yeah.
that? You think it's this Neptune energy with
Well, since
Yeah.
you, well, I mean, yeah, there's the current energies, and I was thinking about the retrograde Mercury, but I mean, it goes back to the pandemic. Since the pandemic, things just have gone a bit wonky,
Mm.
and then we got the Ukraine war, and Israel as well. So it's all
yeah,
so much has been thrown out of kilter, isn't it? Really,
yeah,
there's shortages of things like tomatoes, but
that's true.
medicines that people need to live. If they don't have it, they'll die,
That's
which
very
is really
scary.
quite strange. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder like where they make the medicine at, what country it's made in, or yeah,
Yes. I suppose the different countries make different things, don't they?
it's interesting.
And
Like
I suppose a
trade,
lot of it's made in the countries where it's cheaper, so it has to come by a
Yeah.
big ship.
man, I tell you,
Yeah.
it's
It's like a domino effect, isn't it? One thing gets
Yeah.
thrown off, everything,
yeah,
Yeah. It
yeah,
is. Yeah.
connects together.
that's very
But
scary. Not that,
slightly changing the subject, I just wanted
yeah.
to say I'd noted, I probably hadn't looked at
Mm.
Zelensky's chart before. I noticed his Saturn, I
Yes.
believe it sits round about Trump's ascendant. And I thought, that's
Yes.
quite interesting because obviously on this occasion it was very much Trump was the sort of saturnine character, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, a bit more than that actually, but certainly in the sense of I know better than you. You're not you're not
Yeah.
being respectful enough. You're not wearing a
Yeah.
suit. You're not being grateful enough. You don't know what you're doing. You're being immature. It was this kind of energy he was trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Yeah,
convey, which I thought was quite interesting.
it was very,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, that's the word
I
for it.
don't know, guys. It was like whoa, and maybe the Mercury shadow too really
Yeah,
kind of stirred it up too,
yeah,
and it just went,
Mm.
which I find during Mercury retrograde, that's the kind of thing that happens to me, man. So,
oh,
it's like, I mean, there's like a
yeah,
blow up or something, usually something at work, somebody gets upset, and I'm like, whoa, and then, and
yeah,
often like an old issue that is difficult comes back to haunt you, and you have to hash it out. And that's kind of, they're trying to hash out this whole thing. And it's been going on for a couple of years, but there's new people involved now. There's new beliefs and ideas and ways, and it's like this is not good. Change is hard, I think
mm,
too. Change is hard. You get used to a certain thing, and then I find when Mercury's retrograde, it also sometimes like any issues that have been going on, like they come to a close or there's like
yeah,
a change with them. And that's I think what we're going to see in March. I bet you there's like a resolution of something. Something's going to come
yeah,
to fruition, during this retrograde in March, I bet.
Yeah, it kind of brings stuff to the surface, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Stuff that you thought might have been okay or phased out,
Yeah.
it suddenly becomes apparent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can't avoid it. And then I'm hoping the good side of Mercury retrograde helps me out because I'm going to be transitioning to a new job. And
Yeah.
so the 14th of March is supposed to be my last day.
Yeah.
And right around there, you know, so
Yeah.
hopefully that's when it all, you know, plays out.
Shift.
I'm waiting
Yeah.
now. It's
Yeah.
delayed. Right now it's delayed. But
Yeah.
by then, hopefully I have my approval so I can, you know, move on. That'll be my last day at this job. Been there, I've been about 7 years in this actual same place, but
Oh, that's good.
gonna be interesting. Yeah, and
Mm.
just tying up loose ends. That's what I'll be
Yeah.
doing all of March and during Mercury retrograde, which makes sense. So
What's interesting about Zelensky as well, he's a birth path number 6, which is about putting things in some kind of order and building something constructive. Whereas JD Vance is a birth path number 5, and we had our Prime Minister David Cameron was a number 5, and he left the place in chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that about life path fives,
number
that
5s, yeah.
be a bit chaotic orientated.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
and Zelensky has Aquarius aspects, doesn't he? He's quite a sharp character.
Yeah.
Venus and Sun is there, and his MC is there too.
Yeah.
He's got Gemini. Gemini Sun. Sorry.
He's a Leo moon.
Yes, a Leo moon, and he's got Mars there too. But the comedian mentioned earlier about Gene Hackman, the comedian, Aquarius and Gemini aspects. That's curious coincidence because he started off as that, doesn't he? But he's actually very serious now.
Yeah, I was gonna say he just seems very serious. I was wondering what his rising sign was because he had some Capricorn energy.
Yeah, Gemini. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got Mercury and it looks like Mercury in Capricorn. Well,
interesting as well. He's got Jupiter in his first house.
Yeah.
And people with Jupiter in the first house tend to think they're on a mission.
Yeah.
In life.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I've noticed quite a lot of healers have Jupiter close to their ascendant in the first house.
Oh, nice.
So
interesting. It is, yeah. And then, you know, if you look at, you know, other people's charts with it, it's interesting because I think, you know, President Trump is a Gemini sun and he's got Leo rising.
Yeah.
I believe he's Leo rising. Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
And it's interesting to see how this stuff plays out. And
yeah, and he's got Mars in Leo, same as Zelensky. So I suppose they must have had a clash. And his Pluto is on Zelensky's Mars in Leo.
Oh man,
curious.
that makes sense, guys. That's why I love astrology because you can't deny it. It's like
stinging each other.
Yeah,
it's out. Plays out.
I mean, that is a real war-like situation, isn't it? Pluto and Mars. And I think we mentioned that last month, did we not? We were talking about. I have to go back on it, but something to do with. I believe it was Pluto and Mars. I have to go back on that.
Yeah, I think we did look at that kind of thing.
So the first of this month, we got all this Pisces energy, guys, and then Mercury retrograde, this Virgo energy, and then on March 20, you know, it's like the sun goes into Aries, which I'm looking forward to Aries season. I feel like I feel better as soon as Aries comes. I'm like got energy again. But right now, I'm just like I don't.
Lights, camera, action.
Yeah.
I am like totally lazy right now. Like, and just
I guess it's like the true new year, isn't it? It's the true springing forward.
The nature, new year, nature. Yeah.
You get it energized. Everything starts blooming. You got new ideas.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm flowing good. You know, I typically like Aries season, and but you know, I'm excited about Aries season because I'm hoping I get motivated again because I've been like just feeling so tired, and Aries gives you energy. You know, you can go.
Well, Virgo likes to dance with the fairies, don't they? So I suppose you'll be out there in the garden with the fairies.
Yeah, I need to. When I visited Ireland years ago, I went to a fairy.
Mm.
I
Did
took
you?
my daughter to a fairy garden, yes, and we were looking
Yeah,
at
lovely.
fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. And I kissed the
Yeah.
Blarney Stone, and all that
Did
stuff.
you?
No.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny because my daughter, she wanted to kiss the Blarney Stone, just a funny story off topic, but when was hanging down there, they told her she kissed the wrong part of it, and they said, "You're gonna get bad luck, Lassie," or whatever.
Oh no.
The right part. She was scared to
God.
kiss it. But
Oh.
she ended up, I said, "You gotta kiss the right stone or you're gonna have bad luck." They were kind of joking her. And but it was funny. But I did kiss it twice. It was like 2000, I think it was 2001, and then again in
Mm.
2014, I think is when it was.
Wow.
So yeah.
Gosh. Are
But
you addicted, do you think?
yeah, I mean, I'm hoping I get some good luck out of it, the luck of the Irish. I
Yeah.
got Irish in my ancestors, so
Yeah. I see.
but yeah, it's interesting. There's the other things going on you guys might know, but like Venus
Yeah.
retrograde, and there's Pisces on March
Mm.
27th, and then goes back into there, and then we got the new moon on March
Mm-hmm.
29, um
Mm.
partial solar eclipse in Aries. So new moon in Aries. What do you think people can expect? Because sun will be in Aries, new moon in Aries.
Mm.
It's going to be interesting. It'll be in my eighth house.
Mm.
Oh man, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely.
I
probably.
So you
think
might.
it'll
Yeah,
be in my 10th, but that's equal house.
Mm.
um, so let's see. Yeah, there's quite a shift really around that time, isn't there? Because um, I guess, although with both Mercury and Venus retrograde, that can be a bit, we might feel a bit second guessing ourselves a bit,
yeah, yeah,
as
Mm-hmm.
well as the newer energy. Um, yeah, but certainly it feels like that's going to be a turning point because it's happening so sort of soon after the equinox anyway.
Mm.
So I feel like things will shift. Um, now let's see. Yeah, and I mean, there's actually a trine between Uranus and Pluto as well. So I think in terms of any changes that we're pushing through with, it should be feel quite like the right time to be making changes.
yeah, yeah,
So we'll feel like the universe supports us in doing that, which I think for Aries energy you often do anyway, don't you? It's like you say, is that newness and energy to go forward with things.
yeah.
Um,
Confident and bold and a
yeah,
little bit impulsive. They just they go after what they
Yeah.
they don't take no for an answer sometimes.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need that kick in my butt right now because this Pisces stuff has got me just whoo, I tell you.
yeah. It does.
Mm.
It kind of like weighs you down. You feel like you're underwater a bit, don't you? Just things
Yeah.
are not quite clear. I mean, we will go through a few weeks, I think, with it going with the Venus retrograde back into Pisces. But still, even by as we get to sort of where are we? When Mercury is direct, sort
Yeah.
of a few weeks later, isn't it? Sort of about the 6th, I think. So therefore, and then it really is in Aries
Yeah.
after that, a few days later. So it's going in the right direction. So it's a bit like we might mentally go back on a few things, but we'll get that burst of Aries energy once the new moon, the sun, the moon are in Aries. It will propel us forward, and we'll at least have that. We'll have the urge, and we'll have the vision. Whereas at the moment, with all the Pisces energy, it's just like this kind of watery.
Yeah.
We don't quite know what's going on, do we? And I think
Lack of
things
focus.
really, yeah, it is a lack of
Yeah.
focus, and I think things really do pick up
Yeah.
once you get
Yeah.
past that Aries, the equinox,
Yeah.
and then it only gets better really from there. So yeah, we'll have a few weeks just with that retrograde energy, and then going back into Pisces with Mercury and stuff. Just to, I think, collect and pick up a few things that we've been in a state of flux within the last month or so anyway over. So I think by certainly by mid-April, early mid-April, then we'll be fully going forward with things. But that point at the end of March, around the 25th, with the new moon in Aries, I think will be the energy, the feeling that we're going in the right direction, and that we've got the energy for the direction we want to go in.
Yeah.
Mm.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I'm looking forward to that. And the, I think, around Mercury goes direct, the beginning of April, but we'll be in the shadow a little bit. But really through March, we're going to be Mercury retrograde most of the month.
Yeah.
And,
Something to be aware of, though, particularly Venus retrograde, is impulse buying.
oh,
So
yeah.
be
Yeah,
careful buying things that you don't really need.
Yeah. Overindulgence and stuff and
Or
food.
scams. There might be a few more scams around, aren't there? Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And
I
sometimes
heard.
Pisces,
Sorry.
you get this Pisces energy. Sometimes you get, there's like misinformation or illusion or secrets or hidden things or difficulty getting to the bottom of something. I'm kind of going through that. Like all this Pisces stuff is in my sixth house. And so I have some health stuff going on this week and I'm not feeling good. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I
Yeah.
got some labs drawn and it's like no one knows what it is. It's like they don't know why I have these bad labs. My labs are my hormones are kind of real high and not supposed to be as high as they are. It's really, really high, like scary high. So I don't know. They don't know what it is. So they're trying to figure it out, so kind of I'm going through that Pisces stuff, whatever area of life those transits are, it's going to be, spurring stuff up for you. So I think get second, third, fourth, and fifth opinions on stuff when all this Pisces energy is going on.
Yeah. It can do that. It can just send you in a whirl, can't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's Pisces, Neptune rules the internet, doesn't it? So it's a rabbit warren, isn't it? You get lost in it, just keep going.
Wow, yeah. And escaping, through, just surfing, and hours go by and you're not really getting anything, just zoning, watching shows on, or, watching.
That's the Pisces, escapism, isn't it?
Yeah, something that will be interesting with the Aries energy and the retrogrades is there's debates going on in different countries around the world, particularly in Europe and Australia, where they're trying to bring in regulations for social media to keep children safe. So maybe there'll be some breakthroughs with that as Aries kicks in and those retrogrades. So people backtracking kind of thing.
Wow.
So
I was
that'll
going
be
to ask you
interesting.
guys, are egg, we got this whole thing with egg prices over here. How
Oh yes, you got
eggs
some coming from Turkey, haven't you?
you guys have the egg crisis over there, the price of eggs?
No, not the same. No.
Wow.
Well, there's an outbreak of bird flu, isn't there, in the US, and they're importing eggs from Turkey at the moment.
Yeah, that's what they said. So it's like, I think it went up 41% again. So like, you can't, eggs are like high right now,
Very
guys.
expensive.
Crazy. Like everyone's like, go to Costco because they have like you get the cheapest eggs you can get is Costco, but they're still expensive. What's going on with this bird flu thing?
Yeah, they've had to cull quite a lot of chickens because of the bird flu.
Yeah, it's scary. And so we got that going on. And then the big thing, guys, I mean, is this Neptune is going into Aries. This is pretty huge out of Pisces. Yeah, March.
That's going to be momentous, isn't it?
So what do you think? What's your predictions, guys, on this?
Opposite Libra.
Yeah.
And all very reminiscent of 1930s astrology, and where there were the outer planets were they're opposite where they were in 1930s.
Okay.
So it's quite fascinating how it's all sort of a reflection of what happened, but we do have similar kind of problems around the world.
Interesting.
Hopefully people will talk about it rather than fight about it.
Yeah, I'm worried about it being in, it shifting into Aries, Pisces is, because Pisces and Aries are completely different energies, completely different.
So different. Yeah. I mean, Neptune in Pisces, it's in its home, isn't
Yeah.
it? And
Yeah, it's at home. Yeah.
very much not in its home in Aries. It's
No.
like, just like we were saying, the sleepy Pisces energy of Neptune is going to be catapulted into this
Steam.
awakening, you know, fast forward, head first energies, Aries.
Yeah.
Energies.
Yeah.
Energies?
Fire and water.
Aries
isn't it?
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aries energies, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
stop daydreaming and start doing.
Yeah, and it could be a bit, it could mean that people get a little bit carried away, couldn't it? You know, with their dreams, with their ideas, with their, they just want to really push it forward.
Mhm.
And we've talked a lot about the AI stuff going
Yes.
on, and perhaps that would correlate with that as well.
Yeah, going into action, and perhaps
Yeah.
robots as well.
Well, that's kind of happening now. They're saying on the news over here that with the federal government, they're trying to implement well, they're firing and reducing the federal workforce by 40%. Their people are getting laid off every day, fired and removed because they're trying to implement like more technology into the federal government. And that's what they've been saying on the news. And then like they mentioned AI, like to filter through emails from 2 million people
Gosh.
that we were asked to respond to. I'm like,
Wow.
whoa, you're hearing this on the news. It's like Pluto in
Yeah.
Aquarius. I mean, and now Neptune going into Aries. It's like, whoa,
Yeah, because you've now got two of the slow moving planets that will be going into the masculine signs, the more direct positive signs. And particularly where Neptune is concerned, we could see quite foolish things going on, quite where the kind of big tech stuff goes a bit wrong or gets a bit ahead of itself.
Yes.
I think it could be that.
Mistakes could be made.
Yeah.
Oh, man, guys. So what happened? Let's talk. What happened in the 1930s that could replay now?
Well, in the 1930s, there was a rise of fascism in Europe because we had Germany and Italy and also Spain as well. Spain went on until the 1970s with General Franco. But so there's that rise of right-wingism, which is on the rise now. Is that happening again across the world, really? Well, particularly Europe, but also in particular other Western countries. So it's rather strange coincidence, but it's different in other ways as well, because in those days people didn't know, kind of thing. Whereas now we got history, we do know, but it was 80 years ago. So it's the younger generations that are running things nowadays. And of course, we've got this rise of very wealthy businessmen having sway politically, which is quite worrying, isn't it? Because they're only in it for the money or the power. They're not really interested in idealism of politicians and trying to help people.
This is gonna be. I'm a little worried about this Neptune entering Aries, guys. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because, I mean, collective spirituality, and our dreams are illusions. This thing is going to be interesting.
But then perhaps it'll create reality. It's like, because Aries is about action, Neptune is idealism, dreams. So perhaps people will put their dreams into action. We might see some really good films from Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think you're right, because I think anything that people have been sitting on and dreaming up, it's like now is the time. We very much
manifest it, like to manifest. Yeah. It's like, with manifesting, I feel like with Pisces and Neptune, sometimes, you're daydreaming, you're in your mind, your imagination so much, but you don't implement it. It's like, you got to visualize what you want. So we've been in this Neptune Pisces all this time, and now it's like, okay, now we have to release it and actually take steps and do things so the universe can help us manifest what we want. So maybe it is a good thing.
Neptune is that, or Pisces is that effect where the wife asks the husband when he's going to cut the lawn, and his response is, "I told you I was going to cut the lawn 6 months ago."
It's funny.
Mhm.
But yes, it's going to be interesting, isn't it, with this Aries energy? What's going to be
Yeah.
happening?
I'm just
And
looking now, actually, what you said about the 1930s and going on
yeah,
to the 1940s, because of course
mm,
Neptune is in Virgo.
yes, it's opposite.
So it's a kind of like opposite
Yes, all
in that.
opposite where they were.
So when we're talking about the 1940s, obviously we had Neptune in Libra,
Yeah.
Hmm.
opposite where it's going now. So
Mm.
it's like a bit like, well, not coming full circle, but coming half circle, if you like.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
maybe things will be better than they were then. Maybe,
Hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah, because people will know the
Oh,
consequences
yeah.
of
Yeah.
what could happen.
Mm.
Yeah.
like
And
learn
I
from.
mean, yeah, Pluto
Mm.
in Leo, Neptune in Libra. Of course, we've got Pluto
Mm.
in Aquarius, and we've got Neptune going into Aries. So, yeah,
Mm.
there is that dynamic, isn't there, of them being
Yeah,
in opposite positions to what they were.
yeah, yeah,
And we're a little
yeah.
like we're not there yet, but like in May, Saturn enters Aries, so that's a whole nother thing we can talk about then. But we're
Mm.
gonna have a lot of stuff going into Aries.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's true. It's quite a shift, isn't it?
it is. Yeah.
Be interesting this year, guys. It's gonna be. I
And
think.
whenever planets do go into Aries, that's always more of the, very much a starting point, isn't it? Being the first sign of the zodiac,
Yes.
Mm.
it's kind
A
of new and
reset.
fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think it's good. I think Neptune, Aries with battle and maybe, the spirituality thing with going to war, maybe.
Yeah, because the Viking god of Thor, the war god. Yeah. Is that time of year kind of thing, time of thing. But it's also, as Caroline says, it's new
Yeah.
life as well, isn't it? Lambs,
Yeah.
Mm.
flowers, spring,
Yeah.
birds. So it's resetting, new beginnings. So it could be that the politicians will come around the table and start talking about things and sorting things out in a more humanitarian kind of way, really,
Yeah.
because they'll be more aware of the consequences. I think people will be scared about what's going to be happening if they
True.
don't talk.
What do you
Mm.
think about what do you think about the also the end of the month when Saturn's gonna it looks like, well, no, that's the 1st of April. I think that's the big things. Is there anything we missed that else is going on this month or?
Well, Mars has gone direct, hasn't it?
Mm.
And he's still in shadow at the moment in the moon sign, but he'll be popping back into Leo at some point.
Yes,
So
yes,
that'd be nice. That'll put things back on track in certain ways
yes.
and
Because it's
a
in,
lack of confusion. Because Mars is in a water sign, it doesn't do very well, does it?
yeah,
Similar to Neptune in
Mm.
Aries.
yeah,
So hopefully things will become more like common sense returns, kind of thing. Is
yeah,
or people having more of a focus because it being the fire sign of Leo. So hopefully, and of
yeah,
course the sun will be in the sun will be moved from Pisces into Aries as well, another fire sign. So
yeah,
a focus, isn't it? People coming together, having a focus, and
yeah,
being more sharp,
yeah,
really, and not taking any nonsense, kind of
yeah.
thing.
What do you guys
Mm.
think about all the plane crashes and plane things that have been going on since we last talked? Like,
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? What's happened? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, do you think some of that is this Pluto and Aquarius stuff, or you think it's more than that?
It could have been the Jupiter was retrograde when that happened. I remember Jupiter was retrograde in Germany, so that
Okay,
could have had a play, I suppose.
true, true. There, things with flight.
And of course, Mars was retrograde, so
Yeah,
the
yeah,
action, isn't it? It's said that the people didn't know where they were,
yeah,
so
yeah,
in the moon sign, that would make sense. The confusion, isn't it? Like being out of sorts,
yeah,
not not seeing what they should see, or seeing something else and thinking that's what they should see.
yeah,
So I suppose the Mars being action because they were moving,
yeah,
and even the one in Canada that flipped over, didn't it?
yeah,
It was a heavy landing apparently, which
yeah,
is sort of a Mars thing, isn't it? Accident prone kind of
yeah,
situation, and they landed on snow.
yeah.
So yeah.
There's been a lot of little things like in different
Hmm.
airports here that are,
Yeah.
you
They
know,
do seem to be pilot error, don't they? Rather than anything else. Because there was a medical one that died
oh yeah,
from was it somewhere in the States? Was it Nevada or somewhere? But they were flying to Mexico and they had
yeah,
a sick child on board and that came down.
yeah. I
It was a
remember.
bit
Yeah,
strange. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That was too. It's just interesting, and
Mm.
um, I just feel like February, March. I feel like this energy of revolution. You know, like this. I feel this Pluto in Aquarius playing out in the world right now. Like just on the,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's like total change, like
Mm.
total
Yeah.
Mm.
change, like crisis, like cataclysmic feeling. People are like,
Well, Mount Etna has been erupting for the past couple of weeks. So
oh,
there's lots of
interesting.
lava coming out from Mount Etna. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Italy. Yeah.
The earth feels it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, holy crap. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm hoping in April, uh, next month that
Mm.
will feel different and we'll have all this Aries energy that, will shift.
Yeah.
I just feel like February was kind of a hard month. And so,
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
for everybody I talk to, they're just like,
Mm.
oh man, it's something about February. And so maybe March we'll have some more of this positive energy and Aries and tap
And
into
it,
some.
it's ironic as well because February is quite a short month by
Mm.
comparison. And did you know that men can be right on the 29th and 30th of February?
Oh, they can?
Yeah.
Well, once every 4 years, or and never. Yeah.
Funny. Oh my goodness. Well, what are some tips you guys have for the listeners before we wrap up about the March energies? Anything they can do to kind of make,
Take it slow, check things over,
yeah,
Yeah.
read things more than once.
yeah,
Don't sign anything unless you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I think with what you said, Merlin, about checking before you make purchases because of the
Mm.
Venus retrograde, particularly that it's in Aries as well, because Venus in
Yeah.
Aries will make us want to do things quickly.
Yeah.
And so just be really sure before you commit to
Bye.
something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do something, make sure you can take it back if you don't like it when you get home. Make
Yeah.
sure you can take it back before you agree to it. That kind of thing. Get yourself a get out clause. And I remember a few years ago, somebody I knew bought a house during a retrograde Venus. Don't remember which sign it was in. And after they purchased it, about a month or two later, they discovered cracks in the walls and it turned out it had subsidence.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's that kind of trickery, isn't it?
Mm.
You have to be so careful.
Venus retrograde too, guys. You think like old love or old relationship issues will pop up?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
another thing. Yeah, I've heard of people that have been divorces or exes, they come back and they marry and they get back together on a Venus retrograde. So yeah, that can
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So take it slow, take it easy, use a proper ladder or a rope,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially if you're going mountain climbing.
Safety first. Be careful.
Yeah.
Just be
Think,
safe.
be vigilant. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be impulsive with things.
No.
I think things will get a bit easier, now we've got Mars direct
Yeah.
Mm.
and the influence of Aries later in the month. But yeah, it is a case of just remaining aware and not getting carried away
Mm.
would, I think, be the advice.
Yes. Write yourself a checklist and talk about delays. I mean, you could have problems with travel if you've got an appointment somewhere. So leave earlier than usual.
Yeah.
And also the other thing that's happened to me actually on Aries, on a retrograde Mercury is arriving a day early. You go somewhere thinking, oh yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, wait.
you were there a day early. So it's another switch on the retrograde.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets me thinking because it's like around that time in March, I might have to sign some stuff for my big change. So I'm like, oh,
Mm.
I better make sure I read the fine print,
Yeah.
sure, I think hopefully because it started before it was all of my change started before it's retrograde, you
Mm.
gotta finish out something. I find that you often change your job, get a new job offer during a Mercury retrograde. Often
Yeah.
happens to me in the past, like, oh,
Mm.
it's like there's the end of a cycle kind of thing, like, and you're, now you apply for jobs and you start getting contacted every time Mercury's retrograde. That's kind of how it happens. You're like, oh, I
Yeah.
got job offers now, and then you got to make sure you don't change your mind once it goes direct, pick the right one you're wanting. I've had
Yeah.
two where I'm like, wait a minute, I don't really want to do this. I want to do this
Mm.
other one. And I had that happen to me years ago. And it was a Mercury retrograde. I'm like
Yeah.
I was able to get out of the thing I decided not to do and
Oh, right.
do another
Yeah.
contract job. It just happened to play out. But it's like usually, two things would happen every time Mercury's retrograde, and I'd have to choose. Like I'm like, what is going on? Like when it rains, it pours, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
it does. Like buses, they come
yeah,
along all at once. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, everybody just
It,
hang in there in March. And I think beginning of the month we're still in this strong Pisces feeling, and then by the
mm,
end of the month we'll probably feel more energized and have a lot more energy to be on the move and set our goals and take action. So
Mm.
just take care of yourself the first of March, and don't beat yourself up too much with with the Virgo full moon and all that stuff. Just
Yeah. Be
you know
gentle on you.
yeah. Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
perfect. That's the thing everybody needs to know. Nobody's
Mm.
perfect, and we all make mistakes, and we
I've
all
never heard a Virgo say that to me before.
it's true. Yeah. Yeah. My husband's a Virgo and my daughter, and we're all born like within a day apart. My husband and I are born the same
Yeah.
day, but like just
Uh,
like in the kitchen, like earlier, the things he gets on me for doing to him, he does the same thing to me.
oh, I see.
And I'm
Mischief.
like,
Yeah.
you do the same thing to me, and because he takes it so personal, and he's like, well, I'm just trying to help. I go, well, I'm just trying to help too.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
kind of like to, he's like, you don't have, it's like correcting things. It's like, no, I'm just talking. It's fine. But it's
Yeah.
like you end up, two Virgos in the kitchen. I mean, it's like crazy, guys.
No.
But it's
I
fun.
think it will be quite different by the time we get to the end of the month when Neptune does go into Aries. That's really going to shift the energy a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
We'll see, because the Neptune influence is that kind of fashion, isn't it? It's that
Yeah.
it's
Refinement.
it's almost like being under the influence. It's the influence we're all under
Oh, right. Yeah.
when Neptune enters a new sign. So for it to go
Yeah.
into Aries, I think that will really wake us up out of that Pisces energy for sure.
Mm.
And quite probably see quite strong beliefs being
Oh, yes. Cults.
and yeah and
Mm.
put forward. So
Yeah.
Mm.
interesting times, I think, as we
Yeah.
Or
roll
ending.
into the
They
end of
could
March.
end, couldn't they? Because the
Mm.
idealism of a cult or a religious group coming into Aries is a reality, isn't it? Having to pay the
Yeah,
bills.
yeah,
Yeah. We're going to definitely see things differently, I think.
Yeah.
We've
The
been
glasses are coming off.
mm.
Yes, I like that. The rose-colored glasses are gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Good
good point, isn't
analogy,
it? The
definitely.
fantasy. Yeah, the
I
Yeah,
fantasy
like
changes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly the vibe.
Yeah, because it's like if you look for acting Hollywood, you get a script, you read it, you agree to do it, and then it goes into areas. It's the action of making the film, isn't it? Which could take 2 years.
Yeah,
And it's all the drudgery that's involved in doing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but also it could be a bit like the rose-colored glasses come off, but the vivid kind of psychedelic type ones with Aries go on. That
Mm.
can almost create a bit more of a manic energy,
Yeah, manic
perhaps.
energy.
I
Yeah,
mean, yes, it can
panic.
give that
Mm.
realism, but
yeah,
it can push it up a notch as well, push Neptune up a
Yes,
notch.
yes, yes.
Um,
yeah,
Like AI becoming more common, relevant. Yeah.
yeah, or just really new ideas with things that you
Mm.
wouldn't have thought
Oh,
doable,
okay. Yeah,
perhaps.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Penny drop moments.
yeah.
Mm. Mm.
gonna be interesting.
Talking about the kitchen, this Tuesday is Shrove Tuesday, so get your pancakes ready.
Ah,
It's Pancake Day
pancake
on
day.
Tuesday, yeah, or
Nice.
Mardi Gras, as they call
Yeah.
it in
Yeah,
Southern American states.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Get the
so
Mardi
enjoy
Gras.
the pancakes,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you can do Lent.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of that, a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, have your pancakes and then
Yeah.
my husband loves making pancakes. That's his thing. He loves
Is
making,
he? Oh, good.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's a pancake. I'm not so much a pancake person, but he loves making pancakes, him and my daughter. So
yeah.
Mm.
Well, they can have fun on Tuesday.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank you guys, and we'll be back next month to do the April update.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody hang in there in March, and we'll see you again real soon. Thanks for joining, guys.
Ta-ta. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Be vigilant.
Yes. See you guys.